Hey guys, Kiwi here, warning of spoilers for Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul up to Season 6, Episode 3. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the intro sequence to Better Call Saul Episode 603, which I believe could be a Breaking Bad flash forward. Like the video if you end up enjoying it, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter for more Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad updates, and if you really enjoy what I do here, maybe even consider checking out my Patreon. With that being said, let's jump right into the breakdown. So this episode starts out with a slow, long, drawn-out pan through the desert with some very heavy foreshadowing for the rest of the episode. I'll point out everything I've noticed and discuss the deeper meaning to it all. This intro is very ominous. As the camera moves around, we see a familiar rock formation in the distance. We see a bunch of dead weeds and trees, but one plant stands out, a beautiful blue flower. As the camera pans to the flower, we start hearing rain and then we gradually start to see it pour. The camera then pans down and we see some broken zip ties on the ground, with the camera finally stopping on a shard of glass as the rain falls on it. You aren't fully meant to understand these pre-Easter eggs until you've seen the entire episode, but for those of you that have, you'll probably instantly recognize the shard of glass when the moment happens at the end. This is the same shard of glass that Nacho used to escape captivity at the end of the episode and stab Bolsa in the leg in order to steal his gun. Nacho got the glass shard from inside the trash can in Gus's trailer, as it's a piece of the glass that Gus broke an episode prior. And yes, that has been confirmed by the Insider podcast. The shard of glass could also be a mild reference to the piece of broken plate that Crazy 8 tried hiding from Walt in the first few episodes of Breaking Bad. They discussed this on the Insider podcast as well, so they acknowledged the connection, but it wasn't entirely intentional. The zip ties that we see on the ground not far away from the shard of glass are the zip ties that Nacho broke free from. Combining the location of the zip ties along with the shard of glass, it's implied that this is the exact spot that Nacho died at. It's the only live plant growing that we can see, and it's growing exactly where Nacho's body falls after he shoots himself in the head. This flower is meant to symbolize Nacho's pure soul somehow living and thriving as a diamond in the rough. Many say how Nacho broke good this episode, as opposed to obviously breaking bad. Another way they symbolize Nacho's purity in this episode is the fact that he wears white clothing when before he'd always wear dark colors such as red and black. There's just so much symbolism in this episode. Now the blue flower also reminds me of the blue crystal meth that Walt cooked, but that could just be a coincidence. Some say that the flower is a blue phlox glove flower, which are poisonous. I'm not sure if that's actually the type of flower, so if you know, feel free to shed some light in the comments. They never mentioned what kind of flower it was on the Insider podcast, so it's possible that they never intended on the specific type of flower to have any special significance, and that they just did the blue flower for symbolism in general. Now circling back to the beginning, I'm pretty sure that the rock formation in the distance is the same perch that Mike rested on with his sniper rifle. Now not to break the immersion, but apparently this was all filmed on a fake desert set with a green screen behind it with rain machines. So although they placed everything accurately according to how Nacho's death went down, it was all recreated and meant to be the same place canonically. Since this area is now overgrown and without the Salamanca shack in sight, it's implied that this happens in the future. I'm unsure of exactly how far in the future this is, but considering how different the desert looks, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this is during the Breaking Bad timeline. This flash forward reminds me of another brief Breaking Bad flash forward we saw in Better Call Saul Season 3 to the shoes falling off of the telephone wire. They showed a Breaking Bad flash forward with the old shoes falling as a Los Pollos truck drives by. Then later on in the episode we learn the story of why the shoes ended up there in the first place, with Mike throwing them up there with drugs inside in order to sprinkle drugs onto one of Hector's trucks so it gets stopped at the border. Likewise, in the 603 intro, we get a flash forward to years after the events of the rest of the episode, probably in the Breaking Bad timeline, with a shard of glass and the zip ties in the exact same spot, with a blue flower blossoming, representing Nacho himself. Now if there's any details I missed, please feel free to share them in the comments, and I'll try to mention any updates to this scene in my full 603 review. Also, if you haven't seen my video I did yesterday on the fate of Nacho, check it out too. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, and if you're new to the channel or just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay updated on when I post new content on Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!